dikit.
Mari ke situ, Mbak.
Ya.
Yes.
Cek mic. Coba nyari volume. Cek.
Hello, Dwiyan, do you hear me?
Cek sound. Halo, teman-teman, bisa dengar suara saya?
Terjadi kesalahan.
Apa yang salah ya?
Putar bawah ya.
Do you hear me, guys?
Cek.
Hello?
Cek.
Hey, guys. Hello. Do you hear me, guys?
Coba di refresh, Mas.
Hey, do you hear me?
Kalau yang dengerin pakai link, ada yang daftar lewat link nggak? Kalau coba cabut ini.
Hello? Hello there, this is Jose.
Hello, Jose, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you perfectly. Do you hear me? Yes, I hear you perfectly.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you, but I think we have a little bit what is called like delay.
Yeah, I can see that, but it's okay. I think we are good to go.
Okay, let's start. Halo, selamat malam teman-teman semua. Bertemu lagi dengan saya Dwiyan Anggara dan hari ini seperti yang kita janjikan, kita ada sesi live dan hari ini teman-teman kita spesifikly akan membahas tentang bagaimana kita membangun sebuah trading plans, bagaimana kita menciptakan sebuah konsistensi, bagaimana kita nantinya juga akan belajar langsung di market live. Kita akan belajar tentang bagaimana cara enter di market menggunakan suatu aturan yang berbasis rule-based strategi. Dan hari ini sangat spesial teman-teman, karena hari ini saya nggak sendiri. saya ditemenin oleh salah satu mentor saya. Beliau adalah salah satu orang yang saya dengarkan ketika kita ngomongin trading. Dan beliau berasal dari Spanyol, dan beliau adalah salah satu dari pencipta dari tools yang akan nantinya kita gunakan untuk trading, yaitu AutoUFO. Dan hari ini teman-teman, saya ditemenin oleh Jose Blasco. Jose, how are you?
A pleasure, Dwiyan. I'm very well. And you? How are you? How is everybody?
Teman-teman bisa dengar suara saya nggak yang di YouTube? Okay, Jose, how about you start introducing yourself? I have already talked about a little bit about yourself, and then you are as my mentor, and then right now I think you can take it from here, because I think I have a little bit sound problem. I will fix this, and then we'll come back when we are ready.
Yes, very good. I will do that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will share my screen. So that way everybody can see my screen as well, and as we go over things, we can all follow. Okay, very good. So I believe that now everybody should be able to see my screen. So my name is Jose Blasco. Again, it's a super pleasure, a major pleasure to do the session with Dwiyan. We have been willing to do this for a while, and finally we made it happen to do a session together, which is very exciting.
Yes, so we can see your screen.
Very good. So yeah, well, a little bit about myself. To be honest, my background, the origin of the times for me when I started trading, actually my background was not related to the financial markets. I was coming from a different world. I was coming from the world of technology and engineering, nothing related with trading at all, totally different world. And one day I got exposed to the financial markets. That was a little over a decade ago. That was, to be precise, in 2007. And I believe that, like all of us here today, I fell in love with the markets. And next thing you know, I became professional.
Wow, 2007.
Yes, I became professional, and from there, financial markets, changed everything for me. The way on how I produce the income for me, everything. So, since then, I got the pleasure to meet very special people, and Dwiyan is one of those very special traders and very special person. So I'm very, again, repeating myself here, but really, really excited to be in this session today. So anyway, before we start, I wanted to give you a little bit of an explanation of the UFOs, right? Because, in trading, yes, Dwiyan, would you like me to get into the UFOs?
Yes, please. I mean, I think I have a 15 minutes delays with you.
No problem. So yeah, we have a little bit of sound delay, so I'll just go for it. Okay, so I would like to spend a little bit of time today talking about the UFOs and the methodology behind it, and how you can use it and how you can trade. Because even though I don't speak Bahasa Indonesia properly, I did hear Dwiyan mention the word consistency, right? And in trading, to be consistent, you need to have consistent action. If the way you trade makes you trade differently every time, then your action is not consistent, and therefore your results cannot be, unless you are a lucky person. And if you are a lucky person, well, that's good, but it will not last forever. Okay, so the idea is to look at trading professionally with tools that make you consistent. Okay, and AutoUFOs is a tool to do that. But before I get to explain how do I use AutoUFO and talk a little bit about a methodology, I would like to explain a little more in detail what is AutoUFOs, and more precisely talk about what are UFOs. Okay, that's a key, very, very key concept. So I would like to talk about the concept of AutoUFOs. Then I would like to talk about how does it look like when you load a chart of the euro, or you load a chart of the Australian dollar or the British pound. How do those UFOs look like? Okay, and then we can look at a proper definition of what they are, and then we can dive into a methodology on how to use them. So first of all, the UFOs. Okay, let me zoom in because this is very small print. Okay, so the UFOs stands for, as you can see here, unfilled orders. Okay, unfilled orders. And I want you to read this paragraph with me, if that's okay. Because if you understand what this paragraph says, that would put you in a position which is very different compared to the majority of traders. That would put you in the position of winning instead of the position of losing, okay? So listen carefully. There are many theories that try to explain why markets move either up or down, okay? But an undeniable fact is that behind the scenes, there is an underlying force made of buy and sell orders which pushes prices up or down. So think about it. When we are at home, let's say all of us are normal people, if you wish, compared to the big banks in the world, right? We are normal people. So when we are at home and we click buy or we click sell with our trading platform, we don't really impact the market. We don't do much to the market. But if a big player, let's say, for example, a fund manager, a big bank, a hedge fund manager, if that person was to be the person placing a buy or sell order, nothing will happen either until the moment when that order gets filled, when the order gets executed, right? That's when the market will move, okay? And so what we don't know is the reason why the orders are there in the first place. Maybe that big player is buying or selling because of news, because of geopolitical event, because of company earnings, because of fundamentals, because of technical analysis, because just pure speculation, artificial intelligence, algos, trading robots, all those things that are written on the screen right now apply. We don't know the reason for the order, but the moment you have orders in the market and they get filled, the market will move. So the unfilled orders are responsible for the market movement, okay? And the reason why I said, and let me zoom out, the reason why I said that this concept is very key, and that's why I started today with the concept, it's because most people, when they buy or sell Forex, currencies, anything, they don't think about it this way, okay? They think about what they want, what they would like, what they think is gonna happen, what they read on the news, what they saw on a website, what they see somewhere else. But the reality is that all of this is important, but nothing would happen if you didn't have the unfilled orders behind the scenes. So what we are doing, professional traders like Dwiyan or myself, what we do when we trade, it's to focus on finding the unfilled orders. Because if you know where are the unfilled orders to buy and where are the unfilled orders to sell, then automatically you know when to buy and when to sell yourself before the market movements are going to happen. Because we just said the unfilled orders are responsible for that market movement. So now, how do we do that? Well, very simple. We apply the AutoUFOs and it looks like that. So if you look at the screen, we have an example with the Japanese yen. Okay, and we'll look at more examples later on. You can see here on the top Japanese yen. And you can see that up here, there is a red UFO, and then there is another red UFO, and then there is a green UFO, and then there is another green UFO, okay? So you see those UFOs, they look a little bit like flying saucers, UFOs, right? And what they represent is unfilled orders. If it's red, it represents unfilled orders to sell, okay? Why sell? Because it's red. So when it's red, it's unfilled orders to sell. If it's green, it's unfilled orders to buy. Okay, so what would you do yourself? Very simple. You would just wait for the Japanese yen to come down, and the moment it comes down, you know it's time to buy, expecting it to go back up. And the day it comes to where the red UFO is, you know it's time to sell. So you had a good entry, and then you had a good exit. So you bought, you sold, and you made a profit. Or if the market went to the red UFO before it came to the green, right, you would expect it from there to fall. So again, same story. You would have a good entry to short now in the red, okay? And later on, you would have a good exit to take the profits from the short side when it got to the green. So basically, you buy when it's green, you sell when it's red, or vice versa. And the reason why, I mean, it's good because it's simple, but the most important thing is not only it's simple, it's powerful, because the green UFO represents unfilled orders to buy, and the red UFO represents unfilled orders to sell, and therefore this is where the movements begin and finishes. That's why the entries and the exits, as a trader, when you trade professionally, this is how we place our entries and targets. Okay, so basically, as a summary, and I'm gonna move away from the slide and get into the charts real time right now. But as a summary, before I do that, I will want to say, and hopefully I am not speaking too fast, okay, because I know I have an accent, so hopefully everybody is following me well. But basically, AutoUFOs is an app which is designed to enhance your trading performance by adding more precision when planning entries and exits. Okay, so think about the beauty of precision. If you are precise,
yeah, I mean, your English is very easy to follow.
Thank you, Dwiyan. So if you are precise when you buy and sell, the consequence is clear. You have bigger profits and smaller losses. Why? Because you are precise. If you are not precise, then your profits are small and the losses are big. Okay, so benefit number one, you are more precise. Then benefit number two, you are eliminating any sort of subjectivity. Okay, so precise is a benefit. Eliminating subjectivity is also a benefit. Why? Because remember we said consistency. Well, you cannot be consistent if your analysis of the market is subjective. If the way you analyze the market is subjective, it's impossible to trade consistently because subjectivity is that. Is that making sense? So you want to be objective. And how can you be objective? Well, you are objective. You know, who is more objective? A human being or a computer? 100% a computer is more. Why? Because as a human being, let's say you took the prior trade and the prior trade you profited. So the next day when you plan a new trade, you are probably very happy, very euphoric. And therefore the way you plan the trade may not be objective because you are euphoric. Or maybe the prior day you took a loss and therefore you are upset. Or maybe you are fearful. So the next day when you plan the trade, you cannot be objective because you are fearful. So again, who can be more objective, a computer or a person? A computer always is more objective. So the app, the AutoUFOs app, is analyzing the market's objectivity. And on top of that, you need little time to do that, okay? Which this probably is the biggest problem that everybody has, okay? I'm sure that if I ask you, how many of you have daughters or sons? How many of you have children? Probably the majority of you. How many have to commute and drive to go to work? How many of you are very busy if you work in an office or any other place? And probably everybody would say, yes, I'm very busy. So what happens that then you go home, you are tired, it's time to trade, and then you don't have the time to plan the trade, or you don't have the energy. And on top of that, because you're tired, you are not objective and you are not precise. So what are we doing? We are eliminating all the problems of being human by using our computers to do for us, which is running the AutoUFOs app, okay? And basically, again, the app is finding those red UFOs and green UFOs giving us the precision, eliminating the subjectivity, and of course it's done by a computer, so it's done at the speed of the light, as you are about to see, because probably you have seen Dwiyan use it, and you have seen it already. I'm going to use it too, and you will see how it's very fast. So basically, the end result is that you trade more mechanically. And because you are mechanical, what does mechanical mean? Mechanical means that you act always the same way. And what happens when you act always the same way? Well, if you act always the same way, you always trade the same way. So you have consistent action. And if you have consistent action, what should happen to your results? Well, you will be consistent. Where if you were to do the opposite, if every time you traded differently, right? So you are not mechanical. See, if every time it was different, you are not mechanical, so then you will not be consistent. Okay. And then there is another side effect, which is very positive, which is the confidence. Okay, and this, I am sure you all understand what I'm about to say. It's very easy to understand, but at the same time, many people don't think about it. So what would you say it's more difficult to trade? A $10 account or a $10 million account, right? Well, probably you need more confidence to trade a $10 million account, isn't it? Because there is more money at risk, there is more risk, right? And therefore, probably you would say, I need more confidence to trade a $10 million account. So what happens is that when new traders start trading, many times you start with, I don't know, $50, $100, $200, $500, $10, whatever you start with, that's what you start with. And normally new traders never think about confidence. And let's say you start trading a $10 account and you got lucky and you made it 20. Well, now you have $20, is double the money. And when you continue trading, you never realize you need confidence to trade because $20 is still limited amount of money. So what happens is that there is a moment in time where, let's say you keep growing the account, there is a moment in time where the size of the account may limit you on how to trade, because now you start becoming fearful because you are lacking confidence, because now you have more money in the account, which is what you need to really make money. But now you start becoming fearful. And the problem was that all the experience that you accumulated trading for 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever it was, all that experience that you accumulated never helped you to develop confidence. It was just practice, but you never develop confidence. Why? Because you never understood the importance of the size of the trade, the amount of capital in your trades. So how can AutoUFOs help you to develop confidence, which is key? Well, you have tools embedded in TradingView to be able to do market replay and do simulations where you could simulate what would it be to trade, $20,000, $10,000, $5,000, $5 million. You could simulate anything you wish, use market replay, and with the market replay, you can see the AutoUFO act in real time, and you would get to understand how good as a trader, how disciplined as a trader you have become, and therefore that would boost your confidence level, which would impact your emotions. Okay, so think about sports for a minute. Okay, I'm sure that many of you love football. I'm Spanish, so what can I say? We have many very good football teams, isn't it? And so what happens? In sport? Well, in sport, sometimes you have seen a very good team lose against a worse team. And sometimes it's because the players got emotional. Why is it that the players got emotional? Well, because for whatever reason, they didn't have their emotions under control. And what do coaches do to manage the emotions of the football players? Normally, before the match, before the game, the coach will work on the confidence. The coach will say, hey, you are a very good team. We have a very good strategy. We are a team. We know how to do teamwork. We're going to win. And they work on the confidence. And therefore, then on the field, the football player manage the emotions better and they end up winning the game. if the coach didn't work on the confidence of the players, then the football players may be more emotional in the field and may end up losing the game. And that happens many times if the coach is not doing a good job. So in this case, Dwiyan is your coach and is going to help you with the confidence and the skill and everything. But the AutoUFOs, the app, finding the unfilled orders, is also a little bit of your coach, because as you practice with the market replay and is building your confidence, then when you are trading, you will realize that you know what you're doing, and therefore you should be confident of what you do, because you have done market replay and you have done trades and you have been working with Dwiyan in this process, and you will feel confident, and therefore it will be very easy for you to remain disciplined and manage your emotions. So why is it important? And I cannot wait. In just a few minutes, I'm going to get into the charts and look at trades and look at methodologies and everything. But I want to make sure I said everything I just said before we start with the charts, because something that traders sometimes forget is that, you know what? We are human beings, and who clicks the button is us. So we need to be disciplined, because if you have a methodology with the UFOs, a methodology that I'm going to share with you, or the one that you are using with Dwiyan, right? So you have rules, you have a methodology. The UFOs are making you precise and removing subjectivity. And now you yourself add the discipline, because I cannot add the discipline for you. You need to add it yourself. So if you add the discipline, now you're going to be consistent. You're going to be consistent trading, and therefore you're going to have consistent results. Is that making sense? And for you to be disciplined, you need to control the emotions. And for you to control the emotions, you have to be confident, and the AutoUFOs will help you to get to that place. Is that making sense? So long conversation to begin the session, guys. Again, it's my first time that I have the opportunity to meet with you. And therefore, I wanted to begin the session today by explaining what are the UFOs. I didn't explain too much time explaining who I am, because to be honest, this is not too important, even though I can add a little bit more of, the things that I did myself when I started learning how to trade and all of this, because, that may be helpful to you. But to be honest, what matters to me is you. And in order for you to succeed, you have to apply a methodology the way I have explained it. You need consistent action to lead to consistent results. To have consistent action, you have to be disciplined, manage your emotions and be confident, and have rules that are mechanical. Okay? And everything, no matter how you look at it, goes back to the AutoUFOs and the rules that you have been given by Dwiyan. Okay? So here's my trading view now. And so we still have a little bit of time before we go, isn't it? So what I would like to do is, in the remaining, let's say 30 minutes of time that we have in front of us, what I would like to do is to analyze a market, okay, and explain a couple of concepts, and then explain to you how those concepts look like on the price chart. And out of that concept, plan a trade. Okay, and hopefully all of this helps you to understand a little better on how to do this for yourself with the AutoUFOs, with the support that Dwiyan provides you, etc., etc. Okay, but let's begin one step at a time. Just like in the prior slide, I show you the concept and then I show you how it looks like. Let's kind of do the same now, real time. Okay. So what do I have here?
Hi, Jose. Can you hear me now? I think I have the feedback delay sorted out.
Very good. That's perfect, Dwiyan. I hear you perfectly now.
Okay, now we don't have any delay. I just changed my computer.
This is beautiful. Now we can have a conversation, all of us. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
So, Dwiyan, before I continue, would you like to add anything to what I said? Would you like maybe to do? Would you like maybe to rephrase something in Bahasa, or I am in your hands. You tell me.
Okay, right now I think you can go directly to the live chat. I have a couple questions that our attendee asked in YouTube. I have the question, but I think we can answer the question in the end of the session. So, and then I will just thread out some point in the session.
Very good, perfect. So let's begin. So again, we have been talking about unfilled orders. Okay, this is the key word, right? If there is something that you need to remind of today is UFO, right? That's the key. Okay, that's the most important word I said today is UFO, unfilled order, because this is how you do everything I said before. So now, when it comes to unfilled orders, there are two types of unfilled orders. Okay, there are two types of unfilled orders. You have the unfilled orders that are already in the market waiting to get filled. Okay, and this is what AutoUFOs identifies. So for example, here you have unfilled orders to sell on the euro. Okay, at this price, okay, 112.51, there are unfilled orders to sell. Those unfilled orders are already in the market and they have been identified by the app, the AutoUFOs app. Below here, you have unfilled orders to buy at 111.96. Okay, those unfilled orders to buy have been identified by the app. Okay, so those unfilled orders, okay, buy or sell, they are unfilled orders that are already, okay, they are already, okay, already in the market. Okay, those unfilled orders are already in the market. But there is a second type of unfilled orders. Okay, the second type of unfilled orders, okay, is, for example, what this moving average may represent. So this is a moving average. Okay, it's an EMA 9. Okay, and it could be any other moving averages. Okay, I'm sure you have seen Dwiyan as well use a more evolved and even more advanced methodology with the moving averages. Okay, today, since we have limited time, I will use the 9, if that's okay. But what this moving average represents is the average price of the market. It's just a mathematical calculation where you have looked at 9 candles in the past, you add them up, you divide by 9, and basically you end up with the average of those 9 candles. Okay, so the moving average, that purple line in the bottom, represents the average price of the market. Okay, now, how is this related to unfilled orders? Well, this is somehow related to unfilled orders because what happens nowadays is that markets are traded electronically by very big players. Okay, so you have big banks, big hedge fund managers, very big players in the market. They use very powerful computers and they program automated methodologies based on artificial intelligence and so on. And many times, those automated trades, okay, they use, okay, the problem is that it's not guaranteed, okay? So they may or may not, either buy or sell at that price, okay? So in other words, we have a moving average here at 112.11. So those institutions that use computers, those big players that use computers, they may or may not buy at 112.11. So this is not a very high probability situation, but if they were to buy at 112.11, that order to buy at 112.11 would be added unfilled orders to the market at 112.11. So the moving average below represents a possibility. Okay, the AutoUFOs above represents evidence of something already there. Okay, so the methodology I'm gonna show you is a methodology where we are going to buy. Okay, we're going to buy in the green UFO when the UFO price, which currently is 111.96, coincides with the moving average price. That's the methodology I'm gonna show you today. Why? Because if I was to find market setups where a currency such as the euro, the British pound, the yen, the Australian dollar, you name it, when a currency comes to the moving average and institutions may or may not buy, which is a possibility, But on top of that, you have the evidence of unfilled orders. So what's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen is that the price would come to the average. On the chart above, it will come to the UFO. When it comes to the UFO, the price will tend to bounce. On the chart below, you would see it bounce too. And when you see it bounce too, what happens? The institutions that may or may not buy are now even more likely to buy. So what's going to happen is that you took the trade at the right price, but on top of that, after you bought, you have more unfilled orders entering the market after you enter the market yourself. And this would help you to get a higher probability trade. So let me erase everything and start again. If you were to do what I said before, which is when it comes to the green you buy and you expect it to go up to the red, if you simply were to do that, that's good enough already. But if you were to wait for these to come to the green for you to buy, and when this comes to the green, this was to line up with a moving average. So now you have the evidence above that you have unfilled orders, plus the possibility for added unfilled orders below. Everything adds to probabilities. And what's very likely going to happen is this is going to go up. And because of the average, new orders are being added, and this is going to go up even further. And you're going to get a very, very beautiful trade that you identified with a very, very precise entry, with an entry on the top of the UFO, okay, with a stop right below it, okay, and with a target located where the red is. In other words, you will end up risking this amount of money, okay? The size of the blue bar is the amount of money you will risk in exchange for a profit of this size. And I think it is obvious, my friends, that a trade like this would be appealing to everybody, to all of us here today, where you would have high probability, low risk, and a high potential for a great profit. You would have three components in your favor. Dwiyan, would you like to add anything to what I just said?
Yeah, I think I can rephrase that in bahasa Indonesia because I think some of our attendees have a little bit challenge with English. So, yeah. Oke. Jadi teman-teman tadi di depan udah dijelasin sama Jose bahwasanya UFO itu mereferensikan unfilled order yang sudah ada di market. Jadi kalau kita ngomongin market trading, ada dua jenis unfilled order. Jadi yang pertama kita sebut dengan unfilled order yang sudah ada di market, yang dalam hal ini diwakilkan oleh UFO. Sedangkan ada tipe unfilled order yang kedua adalah unfilled order yang akan ditambahkan di market. Jadi yang satu tadi sudah ada di market, yang direpresentasikan oleh UFO, yang kedua adalah akan ditambahkan ke market. Nah, kita bisa menggunakan beberapa tools, misalnya dalam contoh kasus ini, Jose menggunakan UFO plus moving average. Nah, dalam hal ini dia menggunakan moving average periode 9. Nah, sebenarnya tadi ada pertanyaan, apakah perbedaan EMA, SMA, buat saya nggak terlalu signifikan, yang penting teman-teman stick dengan rule, nggak ganti-ganti, itu yang pertama. Jadi apakah periodenya harus 9 juga nggak harus sih, bisa 20, bisa 50, bisa 100, bisa pakai 21, bisa pakai angka Fibonacci, nggak terlalu masalah, yang penting teman-teman nggak ganti-ganti toolsnya, karena rumusnya tadi Jose bilang di depan, satu-satunya cara untuk menjadi konsisten adalah actionnya harus konsisten. Jadi kita nggak akan bisa dapetin hasil konsisten kalau actionnya random, kan gitu. Kalau actionnya random ya kita harus cukup beruntung. Oke, balik lagi. Jadi UFO yang di bawah, yang di atas itu adalah evidence atau bukti bahwasanya unfilled order tersebut sudah ada di market. Nah, artinya ada kemungkinan ketika harga kembali ke situ, institusi akan beli. Sekali lagi, unfilled order sudah ada di market, bisa saja di-remove sama institusi, tergantung dengan kondisi ekonomi dan politik misalnya. Nah, tapi dengan adanya green UFO atau UFO hijau di sana, itu membuktikan bahwasanya di masa lalu, membuktikan di sana ada unfilled order, jadi yang sudah ada di market. Sedangkan moving average merepresentasikan unfilled order yang mungkin atau bisa jadi akan ditambahkan di market. Jadi yang atas tadi evidence atau bukti, yang bawah adalah possibility atau kemungkinan. Nah, Kenapa pakai moving average? Karena banyak banget komputer, algo trading di seluruh dunia, mereka trading berdasarkan moving average. Nah, pertanyaannya ketika kita buy berdasarkan moving average, institusi bisa jadi beli, bisa jadi enggak, kan kita nggak pernah tahu. Tapi kalau kita punya dua hal, kita punya unfilled order sudah ada di market, which is UFO, dan juga moving average, kita punya kemungkinan yang lebih besar, karena trading kan cuma probabilitas, teman-teman. Tugas kita adalah mempunyai probabilitas yang tinggi, resiko yang terukur, dan target yang lebih besar daripada risiko kita. Jadi tadi plannya adalah kita beli di green UFO jika area atau harga di green UFO itu mereka punya istilahnya areanya harganya sama dengan harga moving average, atau dengan kata lain harga moving average kalau teman-teman lihat harga MA yang warna ungu itu di 1.1213 itu harganya ada di dalam green UFO. Jadi kalau teman-teman punya moving average di dalam UFO, itu teman-teman punya dua kemungkinan yang lebih tinggi lagi. Karena pertama, teman-teman punya bukti bahwasanya unfilled order sudah ada di market. Yang kedua, teman-teman akan ada kemungkinan unfilled order ditambahkan ke market sehingga move-nya akan jadi lebih jauh lagi. Jadi itu bagaimana cara kita menambahkan kemungkinan dengan menggunakan AutoUFO, dengan menggabungkan dengan tools lain. Nah, kalau teman-teman memutuskan untuk tidak pakai moving average, buy doang di green UFO, buy only, itu juga sudah cukup. Tapi kalau teman-teman tambahkan tools lain, misalnya moving average yang ada di dalam UFO, artinya kan menambahkan ekstra probabilitas. Artinya teman-teman punya probabilitas yang lebih tinggi lagi. Nah, sedangkan kita tahu kita punya risk yang terukur, karena risk kita itu cuma selebar green UFO ditambah buffer untuk stop loss. Sedangkan target kita adalah UFO merah, karena merah adalah target kita untuk close posisi. Jadi di situ teman-teman bisa lihat kita mempunyai target yang cukup besar, mungkin sekitar 4:1, kita punya risk yang terukur, dan kita punya probabilitas yang tinggi. Jadi itu cara kita action menggunakan probabilitas yang tinggi tanpa pakai perasaan, dan kita bisa melakukannya dengan konsisten terus-menerus. Okay, I think I just explained everything that you say. Now you can continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dwiyan. Okay, so let's continue then. Okay, and by the way, what I was using here in this first example, which this was not even an example, this was just for me to have an explanation. So notice how in this case I was using 1 hour time frame for the chart below. Okay, so the chart below was 60 minutes or 1 hour. Okay, and for the chart above, okay, I was using the 8-minute time frame. Okay, 8-minute time frame. That's the time frame I was using. Okay. By the way, you don't need to use the 8 minutes. Not every platform has 8 minutes, so you can use 8 minutes. You can also use 5 minutes. Okay, it would be.
And then there is some question from our member. Why using EMA? I mean, what is different using EMA or SMA, or why you using 9? I mean, is this any special on the 9? That's a question from YouTube.
Yes. So basically, what I'm trying to do with the purple line, with the average, is to attract computers that belong to big players that are gonna add unfilled orders. In that sense, something that I know is that the institutions, when they trade with their computers, they are more likely going to use EMS than SMS. So simple moving average is normally more used by the market analyst, where EMS is normally more used by computers. So that's why I'm using EMS instead of SMS. And then the reason why I'm using number 9 is because it's very common. It's the one that comes by default. Actually, if I close this and I insert and I look for moving average, right? And I look for moving average exponential, which is EMA. Mm-hmm. Notice how by default it comes as 9. By default. Okay. So now it's by default is also orange. Earlier, I just made it purple and I made it a little thicker so you guys can see better. But so notice that by default it comes with 9. So I want to use the one by default because this will attract the majority amount of people because it's the by default. And because I'm using it as a magnet to attract orders, I want the most generic setting. That's what I'm doing.
I will explain that in bahasa Indonesia. Yep. Jadi teman-teman tadi ada pertanyaan tentang kenapa pakai EMA bukan SMA. Jadi kenapa? Karena kata Jose, karena beliau juga datang dari institutional trading. Kebanyakan komputer di dunia trading yang dimiliki oleh institusi mereka menggunakan EMA daripada SMA. Jadi kebanyakan SMA itu dipakai oleh para analis, tetapi kalau komputer mereka kebanyakan menggunakan EMA. Jadi itu alasan pertama kalau tadi kenapa pakai EMA bukan SMA, karena lebih banyak dipakai oleh komputer. Pertanyaan kedua, kenapa periodenya 9? Karena 9 adalah default dari EMA. Jadi kalau teman-teman close EMA-nya terus dimasukin EMA di trading view, itu akan otomatis default-nya adalah 9. Jadi kenapa pakai 9? Karena itu yang default. Nah, karena yang default artinya akan paling banyak dipakai orang karena itu settingan default. Nah, karena kita pengen menggunakan tools yang paling banyak dipakai oleh orang dan komputer di dunia, makanya kita pakai EMA dengan periode 9 karena itu adalah default-nya. Jadi jawabannya adalah itu. Thank you, Jose. You can.
Very good. Thank you so much, Dwiyan. Now I was saying that I was using the 1 hour time frame below 8 minutes above, okay? But it doesn't need to be like that. If you wanted, let's say you want to have a style of trading which is a little more relaxed, okay? Maybe you can use, for example, the 21 minutes or 15, okay? 21 or 15. I prefer 21. So you can have 21 above. Sorry, that's below. So you can have the 21 above, okay, for example, or 15. Okay, so 21 or 15, and then below you can have, for example, the 4 hours. Okay, so that methodology would just make you a little bit more of a slower trader. Okay, you take less trades. Everything happens more slowly. Okay, and it's absolutely fine. You can do that if you are, for example, busy and you are not at home the whole day. So you can use 4 hours and 21. Okay, 21 above, 4 hours below. If you are a trader who wants to be a little more active, then you would use 1 hour below, and then you would use either 5 or 8 minutes above. Okay, I prefer 8, as you know. Okay, so let's take a look at.
It's about the time frame. You are using 8 and 21. Is it just because it's Fibonacci number?
Yes, you're correct.
You have a specific reason?
Because again, I am trying to replicate those computers. Okay, the markets nowadays are controlled by computers, right? So I want to do the same thing they do, and because computers using Fibonacci numbers for time frames, just like earlier I said, they use EMA instead of SMA. So same thing with the time frames. So it's a little better. Which, by the way, if you use the 5 is also a Fibonacci number, so not a problem. Is that making sense?
Because usually our people here in Indonesia, they trade using MT4, and MT4 only have like 5 minutes, 15, 30, 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily.
Yeah, and so that's why I said 8 or 5 or 21 and 15. Okay, so it's either 15 or 21 or 5 or 8. Okay, so let's do 5 then. So I'll do 5 above, and I will do 60 below. Okay, so I got, just to be clear, so sorry for that. Just to be clear, so no one gets confused. I have 1 hour below, and I have 5 minutes above. That's what I have. Okay, just to be clear, and no one is confused at this time, because I did give you a few choices, and the risk is that we may get confused. Okay, so let's say you have the 5 minutes above, the 60 minutes below, and let's say you want to trade, I don't know, the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. I'm just picking one currency, whatever. Okay, so I have the Australian dollar, Japanese yen above. I want to make sure I have the Australian dollar, Japanese yen below as well, which, by the way, I could link the windows in trading view, so I don't need to change the symbol twice. Okay, and what do you want to do? Okay, well, you wanna trade following what I said before. Now, the difference between what we have now and what I said before is that now the Australian dollar is below the average. So this is a downtrend, right? So when the Australian dollar yen comes to the average, okay, you would expect the Australian dollar yen to back down, right? And
you use 1 hour time from above, Jose, I think.
I got 1 hour is below. Okay, 1 hour is below. It shows 1 hour above because the chart that I am clicking on is the one below. So 1 hour, it's here. Okay. So this is 1 hour. Okay. If I click on the chart above, notice how it changes to 5. Okay. So you see the blue window. Okay. And by the way, I'm using two windows. I just want everybody to understand that too. I'm using two windows. So I have all the information in front of you. But when you do this trading yourself, you can do it all in one. Okay. So you don't need the window below. You can have only one chart and do it everything with one chart. That's okay. Okay. I'm using two just so you get to see the two. Okay. So what do we have? So in the 1 hour chart of the Australian dollar Japanese yen, we have a downtrend. When this comes to the average, I would anticipate to keep falling, okay, and this downtrend to keep developing, correct? So I would anticipate that to happen. But again, as a trader, I don't want to do predictions like a market analyst. As a trader, I need to be precise, okay? A market analyst could say, I believe the Australian dollar will fall. Okay, good. But when? That's the question, right? When is it going to fall? So when is the UFOs? Okay. When the Australian dollar comes to the UFOs, okay, notice how the moving average is 76.52. Okay, 76.52. And if I was to look at 52, okay, this is 56. Okay, this is 52. Okay, so somewhere in this case, you know, sometimes this happens. I have two UFOs, one and two UFOs that are kind of like overlapping each other. So it's like it's one. Yep. I mean, they're so close to each other that it's like it's one. So what's happening, if I was to draw the moving average below here, I was to draw it here, okay? It's like the moving average is going something like that. Like the average is going something like that, right? So what would I want to do? I will want to wait for the Australian dollar to come here, right? Let me redraw this. When the Australian dollar comes into any of those two UFOs, I would want to short, expecting it to fall, okay? This below, it will look like that. Come to the average and fall. Above, I know the time to short, okay, is gonna be 76.45 because is the UFO. Okay, so what I would do is I would enter the trade where the UFO is. I would have a stop above the UFOs. Okay, and then later on we need to talk about later below. I will have a target. Is that making sense? I will then have a target below. That would be how I want to do this. Okay, but for you to understand this even better, remember earlier I mentioned building confidence and use the market replay. Okay, so take a look. Take a look. I'm going to use a vertical line. This is how you build confidence. Okay, I'm going to use a vertical line. Okay, here on the bottom chart. Okay, and I'm just going to put the vertical line. I mean, anywhere. Like for example here. Okay, so here at that time. Okay, at that time, you know, that was a few hours ago. At the time, price, the Australian dollar was below the average, okay? If I go back to the upper chart and I zoom out, you can see the blue vertical line corresponds exactly. This is the beauty of TradingView. You see is, you can see it here, okay? It's May 8, 6 p.m., May 8, 6 p.m. It's the same time, okay? So the blue line is the same. Look, if I move the blue line below, it moves above. You guys see that? So you know,
you need to make the blue line thicker.
Yes, let's do that. Okay, let's do that. Style. So I'm gonna make the blue line to be thicker. Here we go. I'm gonna make it a little darker too. You know what? I'll make it purple like earlier. Okay, so that way everybody sees it. Okay. So you see, if I move the blue line below, it moves above, isn't it? So here's what I want to do. I want to go back to this moment in time in the past, just to build my confidence. Okay. So what I'm going to do on the chart above, I'm going to click replay. Okay. And the moment I click replay, give me a second, click on the chart above, replay. The moment I click replay, it's giving me a red line. You see the red line? So what I'm going to do above is put the red line where the purple line is. And the moment I do that, okay, magic, the chart above rewinds to that moment in time. Okay? So now, let me zoom in so I make it bigger. Okay? So the purple line is where the chart above is. Okay? So what do I know about the chart below? Well, if I put my mouse below, notice how at this moment in time, the value of the EMA is 79.10. 79.10. So do I have anything at 79.10? Well, unfortunately, there is no UFO at 79.10. Okay? So what do? Nothing. Okay? I do nothing. Okay? There is no trade available. Remember, you want the moving average to line up with the UFO. So what about 1 hour later? Okay? I'm moving the line 1 hour later. Notice how the line above moved all the way to the right. So now, I'm going to use the tool, this tool here on the top. This is my market replay tool. Okay? This is the market replay. So I'm going to click on play and watch what's happening. Okay, watch what's happening. The market is playing for me. A new UFO has formed, which is red. Okay, and that UFO is located at 7701. Okay, so that UFO is located at 7701. If the moving average was 7701, I would take the trade, but unfortunately the average is 7717. Okay, it's 17. So I don't have a trade. I mean, you could certainly take a trade with that UFO. But it would be less probability based on the methodology I gave you before. Now, price went from the green into the red. Okay, and then from the red it went down. Okay, so the market is doing its thing, and now we just arrived to the purple line. Okay, so I'm going to move the purple line on the bottom part. Okay, and now what happens? Well, I have a moving average located at 17. Okay, so what would I want? I will want UFOs at 17. What's the problem? The problem is that the UFOs are 13, not 17. Okay, so I should not take the trade. Okay, if you take the trade, you are not doing something crazy. Okay, but you have less probability because you don't have the confluence with the moving average. Okay, and the other one. So we arrive to the next purple line. So I'm going to move the purple line again. Now below, at that moment in time, the average is still 17. Okay, and again, unfortunately above, I don't have 17. Okay, so I am not taking the trade. Okay, I'm just waiting patiently. Remember the discipline? I am waiting patiently until a trade presents itself. Okay, you see that red UFO didn't work well. But now, I do have a new UFO form. Okay, I do have a new UFO form, red one. Okay, price came in, market is still moving, and I just get to the next purple line. So up to this point, I haven't taken any trade because even though I have the UFOs and I have the average, I didn't have that situation where the confluence. Okay, so I got to the purple line, so I update the purple line below, and what happens now? The new purple line is pointing at 18. The new moving average is pointing at 18. The next UFO is 34. Okay, I got nothing at 18. So I'm still waiting. Okay, I'm still waiting. As a trader, I am looking for the high probability setups, and I'm waiting. Okay, now a new UFO just formed. Okay, a new UFO just formed. Okay, and that UFO goes from 15 to 30. All the way from 15 to 30. And I'm looking at, if I go below, sorry for that, guys. Let me pause. I just went a little too far. I forgot to pause. Okay, so we were looking at this. Here we go. This is where we were. Okay, so now I'm going back below to check the moving average, which is pointing at 18. Okay, so the moving average is pointing at 18. And remember, this UFO goes from 15 to 30, which means that 18 is in the middle. Okay, so I have the UFO lining up with the average now, right? So what should you do? It's time to enter. Okay, it's time to enter a trade now. So what you would do is that you plan on a short, okay, with an entry located in the UFO, with a stop above and the target below. I'll talk about targets later, okay? And what would you do? Well, now you have the order in the system, okay? And now you're waiting for the market to come to you. And the moment the market comes to 18, and it just did, okay, because 18 is there, okay? So here, you got filled. You are short. And from there, what you wish to happen is you wish the market to fall because you are short, okay? Hopefully everybody's with me, okay? So what you would do now, okay, it's just wait until you reach your target or wait until you reach your stop, okay? And out of that moment in time, okay, and sometimes you have to wait. So again, patience and discipline are important, right? Okay, so it's doing its thing. Okay. And now we start moving towards you, and now you start making money. Because remember, if I pause here, remember that was the entry. That place in the chart, if I'm not mistaken, that was your entry. Okay, and remember the stop was located all the way at 34. So you had the stop at 34. You have never been stopped out. Okay, and since you enter, the market now went below. Okay, and as you can see, the market went all the way to 36.37, 76.37, which is much, much lower. Okay, so why is this trade working so well? Okay, and again, as I keep playing this, I want to go back to a concept I mentioned before, which is confidence. Okay, by doing this exercise yourself with the AutoUFOs, with the trading view, by doing this exercise when you have time, almost like you are playing a video game. Okay, even though this is serious stuff. So you are not only developing your skill in this practice, but on top of that, you are building the confidence as you see those trades work. And it doesn't mean every trade is going to work. You will sometimes get stop outs, don't get me wrong, but most of the times they will. And you will see the market keep moving your way, keep moving your way, keep moving your way. I mean, for example, let's say you have reached your target now. Okay, if I was to pause here, okay, so let me add another vertical line here. So let's say you took profits here. Okay, so you enter the trade at this moment in time. That was the time when you did the trade, and you took the trade at this point. So if that was your trade, so basically you would have made from here to here, you would have made, sorry guys, one more line. Here we go. So you would have made, let me disable the labels on the right. So 76.93, 77.17. So you would have made like 20 plus pips. Okay, 20 plus pips in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours. You would have made 24 pips, if I'm not mistaken with the math. Okay, and you all know how much money is that. Okay, and this is something that took place when the market is slow. Okay, when the market is very slow, where Europe is not trading, US is not trading. So imagine doing the same thing when the Europeans are trading or the US is trading, where we have a little bond market volatility. So what happens? Well, instead of catching this move from here to here, you catch this move from here to here, which is a longer move. Is that making sense? But the concept is the same. It came back to the average. You got precise with the UFOs above. Okay, so you catch the market movement. Okay, and when this happens, where it goes above, okay, when this happens where it goes above and below, it's, let me highlight it. It's because there was no UFO. When there was a UFO, this happens. Okay, When there was no UFO, that's when you see price spending a lot of time above. Okay, and again, hopefully this little exercise is helping you to understand the concept. Remember when I started the day earlier, when concept, okay, I said, let me go back to where I was. I said, concept, how does it look, and the definition, right? Well, the concept that I gave you with this methodology is combining the evidence of finding unfilled orders in the market, okay? Combining the evidence of finding unfilled orders in the market together with an extra possibility where you have added orders. Okay? What's the price to pay? I had to wait. I didn't take every trade. I had to wait 2 or 3 hours until finally I got filled. And then I got this beautiful trade. And if you were to practice this with a market replay technology, then the beauty of this is that you build your confidence and you get used to the methodology, and then you build your confidence. Okay, and then you end up with these beautiful trades. Okay, so
I think I need to translate this in bahasa first.
Yes, okay.
Some people maybe get lost.
Yes, I understand.
Oke, jadi teman-teman yang dilakukan Jose tadi adalah bagaimana caranya kita itu punya sebuah confluence. Jadi confluence itu adalah kita menggabungkan antara evidence atau bukti bahwasanya unfilled order sudah ada di market dengan kemungkinan akan ada order baru yang ditambahkan di market. Jadi dalam hal ini kita menggunakan EMA 9 atau Exponential Moving Average periode 9 dengan UFO, di mana di bawah kita menggunakan time frame H1 atau 60 atau 60 menit, di atas kita menggunakan time frame M5. Nah, teman-teman bisa ganti time frame-nya, misalnya teman-teman mau pakai di atasnya M15, di bawahnya H4 juga sah-sah aja. Nah, yang dilakukan oleh Jose adalah kita menunggu ketika ada moving average di bawah. Di H1 kan ada moving average, di mana di situ teman-teman lihat ada angkanya, angka moving average-nya. Yang kita tunggu adalah ketika angka moving average tersebut berada di dalam UFO. Jadi kita nggak bisa pilih salah satu kalau teman-teman memang mau mempraktekkan cara yang di-share oleh Jose. Jadi dari tadi kan kita bilang bahwasanya kita harus melakukannya semuanya secara konsisten. Nah, kalau teman-teman mau melakukan secara konsisten, maka aturannya harus hitam atau putih. Teman-teman nggak bisa kira-kira, kayaknya teman-teman aturannya harus hitam atau putih. Jadi nggak bisa dikira-kira. Nah, supaya di sini aturannya jelas banget, hitam atau putih. Jadi saya hanya entry jika dan hanya jika kalau harga sebelumnya close di bawah moving average, berarti saya cuma mau sell. Kapan saya sell? Nah, kan pertanyaannya kan kapannya, kan gitu. Karena kan kita tahu, misalnya semua orang analis bilang, wah ini kayaknya AUD JPY mau jatuh nih, kan gitu. Cuman kan pertanyaannya kapan dia jatuh? Nah, UFO itu menjawab kapannya. Kapan kita harus entry ke market? Kita tahu nih harga mau jatuh, tapi kapan kita harus entry dengan probabilitas yang tinggi, risk yang terukur, dan target yang besar, kan gitu. Nah, UFO ini menjawab kapannya. Nah, tapi supaya tadi kita dapat benar-benar high probability trade, sekali lagi ini tetap bisa stop loss ya teman-teman, tapi kan kita mau probabilitasnya untuk work itu lebih besar. Makanya kita tunggu ketika moving average harganya ada di dalam UFO. Jadi ketika misalnya di H1, di time frame H1 di bawah moving average angkanya let's say 76517, moving average kan update setiap jam. Jadi nanti teman-teman tinggal setiap jam lihat chart ada nggak UFO atau red UFO, karena dalam posisi kasus ini kita lihat harga di bawah berarti kita mau sell. Kapan kita sellnya? Ketika harga ada di red UFO yang di dalamnya ada moving average. Jadi ketika harga UFO dengan harga moving average mereka nyambung, dalam tadi kasus tadi moving average-nya di harga 17 sedangkan UFO-nya dari 15 ke 30. Jadi kita punya moving average dalam UFO itu adalah probability yang tinggi untuk trading. Makanya teman-teman enter ke market dengan risiko yang terukur, stop loss kita beberapa pips di atas UFO-nya. Nah, kalau teman-teman misalnya mau trading pakai UFO doang, boleh nggak? Boleh, teman-teman nggak melakukan sesuatu yang crazy juga, yang gila juga. Tapi kalau teman-teman mau high probability, teman-teman harus menggabungkan antara evidence, unfilled order yang sudah ada di market dengan unfilled order yang kemungkinan akan ditambahkan, yang dalam hal ini diwakilkan oleh moving average periode 9. Karena banyak banget komputer di seluruh dunia menggunakan MA periode 9. Jadi kalau harga moving average-nya tidak sama dengan harga UFO, berarti tidak trading. saya hanya trading jika dan hanya jika harga moving average ada di dalam UFO. Nah, dalam kasus sana tadi kita menemukan harga dalam UFO baru kita entry. Nah, apa harga yang harus dibayar kalau teman-teman mempraktekkan ini? Ya, teman-teman harus disiplin dan sabar menunggu, itu aja. Jadi, yang harus dibayar adalah sabar. Nah, tapi kalau teman-teman sabar, teman-teman akan terbayar. Dan kalau teman-teman ragu apakah tools ini, cara ini beneran bisa bekerja atau tidak, teman-teman kan harus membangun keyakinan. Karena kalau teman-teman nggak confidence, teman-teman juga nggak berani entry kan gitu. Jadi kan kita tahu, tapi kalau nggak confidence juga percuma. Makanya di TradingView kita punya fitur namanya market replay. Dengan market replay, teman-teman bisa replay chartnya sepanjang jalan di masa lalu. Teman-teman bisa backtest kira-kira kalau saya lakukan strategi ini terus-menerus hasilnya apa. Nah, teman-teman bisa lakukan dengan market replay dengan sangat cepat kan gitu. Jadi kita tinggal lihat chart 1 jam sekali. Kalau teman-teman mau pakai time frame di bawahnya H1, di atasnya M15, lihat moving average-nya ada nggak UFO yang di dalam moving average. Kalau misalnya harga di bawah moving average, berarti kita fokus cuma mau sell. Kapan sell-nya? Ketika moving average align atau punya confluence dengan UFO. Jadi itu adalah kapannya. Jadi ini adalah salah satu cara yang teman-teman bisa lakukan terus-menerus secara konsisten kan gitu. Jadi ingat kalau mau hasil konsisten, action juga harus konsisten. Okay? So I think I explained enough that part in bahasa.
Wonderful. I'm impressed on how you can summarize everything I said at the speed of the light, the way you do it. Thank you so much. So,
you are people like 1,000 people that says that to me. So
very good.
And yes. Then we have a question regarding calibration.
Yes, regarding calibration. Very good. So yes, so the app. Do you want me to talk about calibration, or do you have a specific question?
Is it how about calibration? How it's affect? Because if I change the calibration, the UFO also change a little bit. That's the question from Andrianto.
Very good. Very good. Yes. So when you look at the UFO here on the top, there is a settings window where you can change the settings, right? And one of the settings in the inputs is the calibration. Okay. By default, it comes with 0.5, but you can change it to anything else. Okay. So the question is, how does this impact, how the app will work? Okay. So let me do this. Let me go back to one chart only, so we get a much better view. Okay. And what I would like to do, basically, it's I would like to zoom out. Let me see. Let me get to a little bit of a larger time frame, just to have a better picture. Exactly. This is what I wanted. Okay. So notice what we have here. Okay. In this case, the app is identifying 4 areas. Let me change the currency too, so we don't have the vertical lines. So, for example, Australian dollar. Okay, and we'll do 2-hour time frame, for example. Okay. So, what do we have here? So we have the app that has identified, as you can see, 2 green UFOs below. And 1, 2, 3, 4 red UFOs above. Okay. So what happens if you get into the settings, and when it comes to calibration, what happens if you make this number a big number, such as 0.7, 0.8? Okay. Or what happens if you make this number a very small number, such as 0.2, 0.3, or 0.4? Okay. What happens? Well, as a rule of thumb, what happens is that the bigger the number, the wider your zones. And the smaller the number, the narrower the zones. Okay, so for example, if I go for 0.4, okay, and try to have a visual picture of what we have here. So if I go for 0.4, what will normally happen is that the zones become just a little narrower. Okay, you may have noticed the ones on the top become a little narrower, where normally if I change this to a little bit of a bigger number, for example, 0.7, okay, click OK, the zones normally get a little widened. Okay, like for example, you can see not all the zones, but for example, that zone becomes very wide. Okay, the earlier with 0.5, we had 2 green zones below. Now it's only 1. So if I do 0.5, you have 2 green zones below, you can see. But with the 0.7, it's kind of the 2 zones become 1 that is wider. Okay. So what is the consequence of doing that? Okay, what is the consequence? Well, basically, with a higher calibration number, you normally end up stopped out less often. Okay, and let me explain why. If this is your entry, okay, and your stop goes below the green, right? So the distance from here to here, okay, is your stop. Okay, and remember, when you use a bigger, now I got two zones. To be honest, if I was to do this correctly, I would have
To entry and to stop.
my entry goes here, my stop goes there, and therefore the distance from here to here is my risk, right? And then here I have two trades, where here we have another entry with another stop, and this would be the size of the bottom risk. So I would have two trades with this particular quantity of risk, where if I was to use a larger calibration setting, for example, 0.7, so what will happen is that my zone below becomes one zone, and therefore instead of two trades, I have one, okay, where this is my entry, right? And this is my stop, and therefore this is my risk. And you can see the risk is basically double. So I got less trades and greater risk. Where if you go for smaller calibration settings, such as 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, typically, not always, because the app is doing many things behind the scenes, but most of the times, you will end up with narrower zones, more zones, and narrower. Okay? Again, not always, but normally that's the case. In this case, it's kind of a weird case because we have this long wick here. So that is kind of making the app to, look at the market a little bit differently with a lower setting, okay? But typically, you get more trades with less risk, with a lesser calibration figure. You got less trades with more risk per trade, with a greater calibration setting. So by default, it comes with 0.5 because it's kind of halfway, right? Now, let's say you are a trader who is very conservative, right? And you are really uncomfortable if you get stopped out. Well, then I would recommend you to use a little bit of a bigger number, 0.6, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. You can do it yourself and do market replay to see how you feel. But I would recommend you a bigger number because you would get stopped out less often. At the same time, you would also trade less often. If you are a trader who you don't mind to be stopped out, okay, you'll take the next trade and you'll make the money back. You don't mind. Your personality is more open, or maybe your account is smaller and you cannot take big risk. You have to take small risk only. So maybe you go for 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, okay? And now you're going to have more trades where every trade will have a little bit less risk, okay? So that would be the answer to that question. Very good question.
I think I need to expand it a little bit. Jadi
Yes.
Mas Raharjo dan Mas Andrianto, ini pertanyaan di webinarnya. Pertanyaan tadi tentang kalibrasi. Jadi kalibrasi itu ngaruh dengan secara garis besar, tidak selalu begitu, tapi secara garis besar kalau teman-teman rubah kalibrasi yang menjadi lebih tinggi, maka biasanya zonnya menjadi lebih sedikit dan lebih lebar. Kalau teman-teman turunkan kalibrasinya menjadi lebih kecil, jadi kalau misalnya teman-teman pakai 0,4, 0,3, maka secara garis besar zonnya akan menjadi lebih kecil dan lebih banyak. Tapi kalau teman-teman rubah jadi lebih tinggi, misalnya 0,7, 0,8, maka zonnya akan menjadi lebih lebar dan lebih sedikit. Jadi apa konsekuensinya? Pertama, konsekuensinya kalau teman-teman menggunakan kalibrasi yang lebih tinggi, teman-teman areanya akan lebih lebar, teman-teman akan lebih jarang trading, tetapi lebih jarang kena stop loss karena areanya lebih lebar. Tetapi konsekuensinya reward-nya jadi lebih kecil. Jadi kalau teman-teman adalah orang yang konservatif, teman-teman adalah orang yang nggak suka terlalu sering kena stop loss, teman-teman mungkin perlu pakai yang lebih lebar, mungkin 0,6, 0,7 kalibrasinya. Dan kalau misalnya teman-teman adalah tipe orang yang nggak masalah dengan stop out, teman-teman kalau stop out di level ini, teman-teman bisa edit lagi dan dapetin di trade berikutnya, teman-teman bisa pakai kalibrasi yang lebih rendah. Kalau teman-teman pakai kalibrasi yang lebih rendah, misalnya 0,4, 0,3, teman-teman akan dapat lebih banyak zone, lebih banyak UFO, dengan lebih kecil UFO-nya, artinya kalau UFO lebih kecil, teman-teman akan lebih sering kena stop loss, tetapi reward-nya jadi lebih besar, teman-teman lebih sering trading. Nah, ini buat siapa? Buat teman-teman yang mungkin aktif trading, nggak masalah kena stop loss, dan juga teman-teman yang mungkin akunnya cukup kecil, jadi teman-teman nggak bisa afford atau ambil posisi dengan risk yang cukup lebar. Jadi teman-teman bisa pakai kalibrasi yang lebih kecil. Nah, otomatis kalau kalibrasinya lebih kecil, stop out-nya lebih sering, tetapi reward-nya jadi lebih jauh dan lebih sering trading. Nah, itu aja. Pertanyaannya, teman-teman lebih suka yang mana? Teman-teman cek aja. Teman-teman punya market replay ya. Teman-teman tinggal tes kalau pakai 0,6 gimana, 0,7 gimana, 0,4 gimana, 0,3 gimana, 0,5 adalah default-nya. Karena 0,5 kurang lebih di tengah-tengah. Jadi buat orang yang mau di tengah-tengah, default kita adalah 0,5. Jadi itu di tengah-tengah dari yang sangat konservatif dengan sangat agresif. Jadi itu. And then Jose, I think maybe some people will ask, what is your favorite? I mean, it's not for everybody, but what is your personal favorite for the calibration?
Yes. So in case you haven't noticed, I do like very much Fibonacci numbers.
Yeah. I saw you have 821 time frame.
Yeah. So you probably have heard, for sure you, Dwiyan, you know about it, but for everyone else, you may have heard of the golden ratio, which is a Fibonacci number. So that's the one I use. Okay. But again, this is just my use and this is just me. Okay. Again, every trader is different, and all calibration settings are valid. So the app will always give you good stuff, but at the same time, you can make yourself more active or less active with more risk or less risk, depending on your preference. Okay. But that would be my little favorite.
Ya, jadi teman-teman kalau ditanya apakah kalibrasi favorit yang digunakan Jose, tadi kalau teman-teman lihat Jose itu selalu suka banget angka Fibonacci. Kenapa? Karena komputer di seluruh dunia rata-rata trading menggunakan angka Fibonacci. Makanya tadi teman-teman bisa lihat Jose pakai time frame 8 menit untuk eksekusi atau time frame 21 menit eksekusi. Teman-teman dapat sedikit view yang lebih baik karena sebagian besar komputer di dunia menggunakan angka Fibonacci juga untuk time frame-nya. Nah, begitu juga dengan settingan kalibrasi, dia juga sangat menyukai angka Fibonacci, dalam hal ini adalah golden ratio Fibonacci. Jadi kalau ditanya apa kalibrasi favoritnya, angkanya 0,618 atau angka golden ratio Fibonacci. Tapi sekali lagi ini adalah dia, artinya tidak sama untuk semua orang. Mungkin teman-teman butuh orang yang sedikit agresif, teman-teman bisa pakai kalibrasi yang lebih kecil, atau teman-teman adalah orang yang tradingnya sedikit lebih santai, teman-teman bisa pakai kalibrasi yang lebih besar. Sekali lagi, mau teman-teman pakai kecil atau besar, UFO akan memberikan analisa yang cukup bagus untuk teman-teman. Tugas teman-teman adalah konsisten dengan aturannya. Itu aja. And then another question, in TradingView there is a lot of broker. To see the area, which one do you use? I mean, for the data feed. I mean.
It's about the same. In my experience, I have noticed that it doesn't make a difference. But you are right. When you, for example, type Australian dollar USD and you click on the Forex tab, it's going to give you access to FXCM, Oanda, ICE, and Forex.com. So the difference is so minimal that I would say it doesn't matter. If you were to ask me to pick the one that is my favorite, I would pick the ICE, because I know they do a little bit of a aggregation of Forex data feeds. So that is kind of like a mix of feeds from different brokers. But again, the difference is going to be half a pip, so it's really, it doesn't matter.
Jadi teman-teman, aku juga perlu kasih penjelasan bahwasanya UFO ini bukan sebuah broker, dan TradingView juga bukan broker. Jadi TradingView ini adalah charting platform. Jadi entry-nya teman-teman tetap boleh pakai broker masing-masing. Dalam kasus ini saya pakai Hot Forex, atau bisa pakai FX Prime, ataupun broker favorit teman-teman semua. Jadi TradingView ini cuma charting platform. Jadi teman-teman bisa ambil data feed dari Oanda, FXCM, atau ICE. Jadi Jose favoritnya adalah ICE. Sekali lagi itu adalah favorit dia, tapi perbedaannya nggak signifikan. Mungkin bedanya cuma setengah pips. Jadi kalau teman-teman lihat harga di Oanda, FXCM dengan misalnya broker MT4 yang teman-teman pakai, harganya akan berbeda sedikit banget, mungkin nggak nyampe 1 pips. Jadi nggak akan terlalu masalah selama teman-teman trading dengan buffer yang cukup nanti untuk stop loss-nya. Jadi entry-nya juga nggak akan terlalu ngaruh kalau cuma selisih setengah sampai 1 pips. Tetapi sekali lagi, UFO ini bukan untuk eksekusi, jadi ini untuk charting. Dan teman-teman akan eksekusi di broker masing-masing yang teman gunakan. Kalau teman-teman trading di MT4, teman-teman tetap bisa charting di MT4. Oke.
Okay, so Dwiyan, from my side, I think I did go over what I had in my mind that I thought was a good idea for today. So, do you want me to pass the screen back to you?
I think I can. I need to. Can you see your presentation? The third. I think the part that or second part of your presentation. I think that's. I need to explain that in bahasa Indonesia also. The PowerPoint one.
The PowerPoint. This one?
Oh, the second one.
This one?
The number 2. Yeah.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
Oh, you can see the second one and the third one. Can you go back one slide?
I don't have any more slides in this presentation, Dwiyan.
I mean the second slide. This is the third slide, right?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. This one.
Yeah. Can you do the full slide? Okay. Jadi teman-teman, tadi kita udah bahas prakteknya, terus tadi kita udah bahas tentang kenapa kita pakai AutoUFO. Jadi AutoUFO adalah sebuah apps, jadi sebuah app yang didesain untuk mempermudah performa trading kita. Jadi gunanya adalah memberikan presisi kepada entry dan exit kita dengan cara mengeliminasi subjektivitas. Karena selalu kita bilang bahwasanya trading itu kita harus selalu konsisten. Kalau pengen hasil konsisten, actionnya harus konsisten. Supaya teman-teman bisa konsisten, teman-teman harus tidak punya subjektivitas. Karena kalau kita trading berdasarkan subjektivitas, nanti repot. Kalau misalnya saya habis trading dan saya habis profit besar, biasanya entry saya berikutnya sudah tidak objektif lagi, tetapi sudah menjadi subjektif. Atau misalnya sebelumnya habis loss besar, juga saya rasanya pengen balas dendam. Jadi analisanya nggak akan pernah sama. Nah, kalau analisanya nggak sama, ya hasilnya nggak akan konsisten. Nah, teman-teman butuh sebuah tools yang memungkinkan teman-teman untuk menghilangkan subjektivitas sama sekali. Jadi kalau teman-teman tidak punya subjektivitas, maka teman-teman bisa entry dengan objektif setiap hari dan teman-teman akan menggunakan rule yang sama setiap saat. Jadi itu kegunaan dari UFO. Jadi teman-teman bisa nggak analisa ini secara manual? Jawabannya bisa-bisa aja, tetapi ketika teman-teman manual, lama-lama teman-teman akan menggunakan subjectivity. Nah, kalau teman-teman misalnya orang sudah berpengalaman bertahun-tahun di trading floor, ya nggak apa-apa karena subjektivitasnya akan lebih bagus. Tapi bagi teman-teman yang baru mulai dan teman-teman menggunakan subjektivitas teman-teman yang belum punya jam terbang yang sangat tinggi, ini akan sangat berbahaya karena teman-teman bisa aja habis loss, habis profit besar, teman-teman akan menjadi kadang-kadang overconfidence, makanya analisnya jadi nggak sama. Nah, dengan tools ini memungkinkan teman-teman untuk melakukan hal yang sama terus-menerus. Itu yang pertama. Yang kedua adalah supaya teman-teman spending less time looking for trade ideas. Jadi teman-teman membutuhkan lebih sedikit waktu untuk men-scan chart di mana kira-kira saya mau entry. Jadi entry-nya sudah tidak subjektif, harus sama terus-menerus, dan teman-teman butuh waktu lebih sedikit. Karena mungkin kita ada yang kerja, pulang kerja, teman-teman capek, teman-teman harus charting, mungkin habis berantem sama istrinya, jadi nggak objektif. Dengan UFO, teman-teman bisa mengeliminasi hal itu. Dan yang terakhir adalah, yang paling penting adalah teman-teman membangun confidence. Kenapa? Karena kita punya namanya market replay tadi ya. Market replay ini gunanya untuk membangun confidence teman-teman. Karena teman-teman tahu caranya, kalau nggak confidence juga nggak berani entry. Nah, teman-teman juga akan menghilangkan sisi emosi dari teman-teman semua. Jadi kita bisa confidence dengan market replay. Teman-teman bisa lihat apakah di masa lalu UFO, misalnya teman-teman bisa gabungkan dengan tadi kita udah bahas dengan menggunakan moving average. Teman-teman bisa pakai cara lain juga. Nanti kita mungkin di sesi berikutnya kita akan bahas misalnya UFO dengan Fibonacci dan segala macam. Tapi dalam kasus ini teman-teman pakai satu dulu. Teman-teman pakai EMA periode 9 tadi dengan digabungkan dengan UFO, teman-teman hanya lakukan hal yang sama terus-menerus. Teman-teman bisa backtest. Dengan backtest, teman-teman akan lihat, oke, ini kena stop loss, ini kena take profit, ini kena stop loss, ini kena take profit. Begitu teman-teman punya cukup banyak kasus, maka teman-teman akan punya confidence. Nah, kalau teman-teman punya confidence, maka teman-teman akan lebih mudah lagi untuk mengontrol emosinya, dan teman-teman berikutnya akan entry dan trading lebih baik lagi. Nah, berikutnya tadi ada pertanyaan tentang time frame ya. Time frame-nya bisa dipakai di time frame berapa aja? Apakah bisa dipakai di time frame kecil seperti 15 menit atau 30 menit? Jawabannya yes, kita bisa pakai time frame berapa aja. Karena UFO ini bisa diaplikasikan di semua aset dan semua time frame. Dan juga teman-teman bisa combine dengan semua strategi trading. Teman-teman untuk sebagai istilahnya adalah enhancer atau tambahan probability. Jose, can you go to the last slide? I think I explained everything here.
Yep. This one here?
Yep.
Yep.
Jadi intinya karena kita percaya consistent action akan menghasilkan result yang konsisten, jadi kita nggak perlu lagi ada random, karena random, keberuntungan itu sudah seharusnya tidak menjadi bagian dari trading kita. Nah, dengan Auto UFO kita membantu secara mekanikal menggunakan sisi manusia kita ketika kita merencanakan eksekusi dan trading. Jadi kita nggak pakai emosi, nggak pakai subjektivitas. Dan kenapa? Karena subjektivitas dan emosi adalah musuh terbesar dari trader. Jadi benefitnya kita bisa lebih presisi ketika entry dan exit tanpa subjektivitas. Kita bisa mengurangi waktu ketika chart, jadi kita nggak perlu ngabisin waktu berjam-jam melihat chart karena sudah diidentifikasi trading idenya dengan UFO. Kita bisa gunakan istilahnya probability tambahan dikombin dengan trading teknik yang kita punya. Terus kita tahu ekspektasinya kita mau dapat berapa, kita bisa lihat kira-kira targetnya berapa, resikonya berapa dengan jelas di awal, meningkatkan confidence, dan juga kita bisa gunakan di semua chart dan semua time frame. And then Jose, we have some question. There is a question from Andrianto. If I see the explanation is very good, but if we see the free signal on predictive, you get every day. I think that's on your Trading Views account and the company's Trading Views account. The
Yes.
reason there is why there is so some losses. I mean, so much loss in that example, trade example.
Yes, because
Maybe you can see the share the trade example from the
yes, let
Facebook
me
page.
show you that. Yeah, let me show you that. So if we go to, let me go to ideas published. I believe this is the section that you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, where we have the all those trades that are published here in a daily basis. So the problem with those trades is that, as you can see, there is no combination with the moving average. There is no instruction given when it comes to how to look at the trend or anything like that. These examples are basically examples to explain the concept. Like, for example, when this trade was planned, this red UFO did not exist. Okay, when the trade was planned, the red UFO did not exist. This is something that may happen. You know, when we plan a trade and the price comes back to the entry, a new red UFO may form. Why? Because maybe, remember, the UFOs represent market players with their orders. So if the market player, you know, let's say when you were planning the trade, this is how the chart looked like, and all of these didn't exist. Okay, none of these existed. So you would have looked at the chart, and the chart would have looked like that, right? So this would be the current price, right? So what do? You would have a green UFO, and you're ready to buy. You would have a red UFO, and you're ready to sell. Okay, but what's the problem? The problem is that
you don't have profit margin when the red UFO new
you are
UFO.
Right. You are right. The problem is that when price was here and it came to the UFO, it could happen in two ways. Just fall like it's a rock, and then you get a profit, or on the way down. Sorry for that. I just hit the wrong button twice. Sorry for that. Here we go. Or on the way down, you may have price top, and then an institution, a big market player, a hedge fund manager shows up with unfilled orders, and now the market goes down. So when that happens, what's likely to happen? Well, what's likely to happen is that those unfilled orders may get canceled. Okay, may get canceled, and then it's either you get a tiny bounce and that's it, or it's either it goes through. Okay, and the trade didn't work. So that's why in the methodology I was sharing with you today, I was also looking at the trend and the moving average and things like that to avoid situations like that. Okay, the trades that we are placing here in this section of Trading View is just out of illustrating, giving examples of things that could be done. But of course, market conditions are changing, and all the trades that we're giving here are using the 3-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame. So in those time frames, many things could change. It could take a long time since the moment you plan the trade until the moment you get filled. So that's why today I was looking at 2 different time frames to minimize this problem. In this case, it's only 1 time frame, and therefore, the success ratio of these trades is not going to be like the ones I just showed you. It's going to be less.
Yeah. Okay, so I will explain this one. So teman-teman, jadi kalau teman-teman masuk ke Trading View, di situ ada page-nya predictive. Teman-teman bisa lihat di situ ada banyak banget contoh. Jadi ini adalah contoh apa yang bisa dilakukan dengan UFO. Nah, contoh ini ketika kita develop trading plan-nya, bisa jadi UFO-nya kondisinya berjauhan, tetapi ternyata ketika harga masuk ke area buy kita, bisa jadi dia harga bikin green atau red UFO baru. Nah, ketika red UFO baru kan ternyata unfilled institusi masuk, dia masukin lebih banyak unfilled order ke market, sedangkan unfilled order banyak bisa saja di cancel. Nah, kedua, tools ini tadi menggunakan UFO dengan sendiri tanpa tambahan chart lain. Nah, sedangkan kalau yang tadi kita contohkan adalah kita menggabungkan dua hal, evidence yang sudah ada di market dengan tambahan probability. Jadi kalau kita teman-teman menggunakan UFO sendiri bisa nggak? Bisa aja, tetapi teman-teman juga akan dapat loss, akan dapat trading, dan saya juga pernah lihat success ratio-nya di kalau kita pakai yang versi TradeStation itu dia ada success ratio-nya, itu buat saya cukup untuk making money. Jadi tapi kalau teman-teman mau tambahkan extra outlier dalam hal ini misalnya teman-teman pakai moving average, teman-teman akan dapat probability yang lebih tinggi. Nah, kenapa yang di situ probability-nya lebih rendah? Karena teman-teman memang di situ hanya salah satu aja, example 1, 2. Nah, tapi kalau teman-teman mau ambil UFO-nya dan teman-teman eksekusi semua UFO-nya, teman-teman juga akan making money berdasarkan statistik yang kita punya. Tetapi teman-teman nggak akan dapat high probability. Kalau teman-teman mau dapat probability yang tinggi, ya teman-teman harus menambahkan, kita sebutnya dengan enhancer atau sebutnya dengan skor tambahan, atau mungkin kita bisa nyebutnya dengan probabilitas tambahan sehingga teman-teman dapat probability yang lebih tinggi. Jadi itu mungkin menjawab Mas Andrianto. Jadi kita harus, market kondisi kan berubah-ubah, makanya kita perlu manage trades-nya. Kalau teman-teman trading dengan trend, teman-teman harus lihat trendnya dan teman-teman bisa pakai beberapa cara. Nanti besok mungkin saya akan ada sesi khusus di mana bagaimana cara menggunakan UFO dengan trend, bagaimana menggunakan UFO dengan moving average dan segala macam. Nanti kita akan bikin sesi khusus full bahasa Indonesia untuk itu. Nah, there's another question, Jose. Is it UFO is same with support and resistance?
No, it is not, because here is, I mean, I could understand why this could look similar or could be an easy confusion, if you wish, okay, but it has nothing to do, because, for example, when you do support and resistance, which is a technique that is commonly utilized by market analysts, what market analysts will normally do is they will look at, for example, this turning point, right, and they will look at this turning point here, and so you would have this one, 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 and for many market analysts, that would be a very, very relevant number, like 0.7200. Oh my God, that's very important. Okay, well, guess what? It is not important in the sense that, the turning points, okay, it's where the orders got filled. Where what we are looking for is unfilled orders, is the opposite of turning points, right? So let me explain this better. This is a very, very important concept. This is key. Like, for example, what do we have here? We have unfilled orders. Okay?
Yes.
If the market was to come and turn, a market analyst would look at this as this is relevant to draw a support and so a resistance line.
Yes.
Okay? Where the reality is that this on the left is where you have unfilled orders.
That already filled.
And on the right, what you have is filled orders.
Yes.
Right? And filled orders, the moment orders are filled, they disappear. Okay? It's like if you want to buy a car and you go to a car dealership and you place an order to buy the car, and one day they call you on the phone and they tell you, come pick up your car, the car is ready, and you go pick up the car, so now the order is filled, and therefore the order is completed, and therefore this order cannot do anything anymore because the order has been finalized. So what moves the market, what creates movements, okay, and allow us to enter before the movement happens, it allows us to enter here, okay, it's the unfilled orders, not the filled, okay?
Yes.
If you are looking at pivot points, such as this thing on the top, okay, if you're looking at those obvious turning points, okay, those represent filled orders, okay, and they are very interesting from the point of view of market analysis. So again, if you are a market analyst, and we need to make sure we understand the difference between a trader and a market analyst. Okay, a market analyst is a professional of the market that makes a living building reports, and they get paid for the reports. A trader is people like us, where we put money on the line and we take trades. It's a different job. So if you are a market analyst and you make a living building reports, and you tell someone that the market turned there, the market turned there, the market turned there, in other words, orders got filled, order got filled, order got filled, right? And one day in the future, the market goes above, and then you produce a report and you say, hey, the market went above the resistance at 72, then it's a very good report, it's a very good observation, and it's relevant. But for us traders, we don't make money talking about it or building reports or things like that. We make money putting money on the line, going long or going short. And what's critical for us is to be precise, timing the trade, entering when is the right time, exiting when is the right time. So in the world of professional traders, okay, we don't speak the language of pivot points. Okay, we don't speak the language of highs, highs and lows, or all those things. Okay, etc. We don't speak the language of that. In the world of professional traders, we speak the language of unfilled orders. Okay, or as you know, UFOs, because UFOs is where the unfilled orders are, is when the next time price gets there, if those orders are there, that's when the market will turn and get the orders filled and create a pivot point or a high or a low. So in other words, all of these on the left happens after the fact. And after the fact is good for market analysts, but for traders, it's not good enough. You are late. So for us traders, we are, and when I say traders, you also need to separate in your mind the professional traders versus the amateurs. So for the amateurs, okay, they may use this because, you go to a bookstore, you buy a book on support and resistance, all these things. Professionals, we use this. So we can get in before the masses get in. So we can have people buy after you bought. You can have people sell after you sold. We are in on time and people come in after us. Why? Because we are looking for unfilled orders instead of looking for filled orders, which is the pivot points, the highs and the lows, the support, the resistance, etc. Okay.
Okay. So say in other words that with UFO we can predict the market turning point or the pivotal point or maybe the support and resistance before it's happened. Because when it's already happened, it's already too late. Can we say that?
You are absolutely right. 100% right. Very well said.
Ya, jadi teman-teman tadi kalau ada yang nanya perbedaan dengan support resisten jelas sangat berbeda. Pertama, support resisten itu dipakai oleh analis. Jadi analis itu mereka dapat uang dari memberikan report kan gitu. Sedangkan kita trader kita dapat uang dari eksekusi transaksi. Nah, sedangkan kalau kita mau transaksi, kita harus masuk sebelum orang lain masuk. Satu-satunya cara dapat uang adalah setelah kita sell harus ada lebih banyak orang yang sell. Setelah kita buy harus lebih banyak orang yang buy. Kalau teman-teman trading berdasarkan support resisten atau pivotal point atau swing point, teman-teman akan sangat terlambat karena swing point atau support resisten itu hanya akibat dari unfilled order di masa lalu. Jadi yang penting itu unfilled order. Kalau dia sudah jadi support resisten, dia sudah jadi filled order. Filled order nggak ada apapun, nothing to do dengan harga di masa depan kan gitu. Nah, kalau teman-teman mungkin ada yang datang ke seminar kita besok di Jogja tanggal 11 Mei, saya akan bahas cukup detail ini karena di sini kita punya waktu yang terbatas, tapi kalau besok kita punya 1 hari full, saya akan bahas konsep ini filled order dan unfilled order dengan sangat detail. Kalau teman-teman besok ada yang datang dibuka bersama bareng kita di Jogja tanggal 11 Mei. Nah, besok kita juga akan praktek dengan UFO, kita akan bahas di sana. Tetapi intinya adalah teman-teman, kalau teman-teman pengen menjadi seorang professional trader, teman-teman harus acting sebelum orang lain ambil act juga. Artinya kita harus peduli dengan unfilled order, bukan filled order. Karena filled order itu adalah transaksinya sudah terjadi. Jadi pivotal point ini sudah terjadi. Oh, dia bikin resisten. Oh, harga mantul di sini, mantul di situ, mantul di situ. Nah, mantul di situ sudah mantul itu sudah telat. Harusnya kita entry sebelum dia mantul. Itulah kita butuh unfilled order. Kalau sudah mantul, teman-teman mau masuk itu udah telat kan gitu. Jadi itu alasan. Jadi ini support resisten dengan UFO ini dua hal yang sangat berbeda. Itu yang pertama. Dan I think Jose, we have enough time. I think this is maybe the last question. After this, we can close this presentation and maybe we can have another session in the future. Okay.
Yes, of course.
The last question is, I think it is two questions. Do you use pending order or market order? That's one question. And the last question is, does this app need any upgrade or maintenance or something like that to keep it in the best performance? That's the only two questions, and then we can close.
Yes, very good. Yes, so the first question about the type of orders. Yes, I always use pending orders. Market orders always will give you a worse price. On top of that,
Yes.
they will trigger the emotions, because many times, you would be trading in the direction of the movement. So, you probably click the button too fast or too late, and, not a good idea. So pending orders, it's the way I execute 100% of my trades. And that's how I do it.
I never touched the market order for the last, I don't know, like 4 years.
Yeah. It is not helping.
Yes.
It's just like everything you would do with everything else. You know the price at which you want to buy, and you know the price at which you want to sell. So you are not gonna trade in between. You have a pending order at that price, and that's it. It's very simple.
Okay. And then the last question about maintenance or any upgrade.
No maintenance. Okay. The only thing that there is in the app, we talked about this before, is calibration, but calibration has no maintenance. Okay. The moment you decide the calibration you want, you keep it like that for the rest of your life. That's it. Because remember, the calibration has to do with your style. If you are a person who is very conservative, so then you will use a higher calibration number. If you are a person who is less conservative and you want to trade more often, then you will use a lower calibration setting. But the moment you have decided that, you never change the calibration setting again, unless you want to change your style. Okay, so there is no maintenance on the app.
Okay, I think I need to explain that a little bit. So teman-teman, jadi kita selalu pakai limit order atau pending order. Kenapa kita nggak pernah pakai market order? Ada beberapa alasan. Yang pertama, market order itu bisa kasih kita harga yang nggak bagus. Itu yang pertama. Yang kedua, market order itu memicu emosi. Karena kalau teman-teman klik market order, emosinya akan ke bawah. Jadi tahu-tahu nanti ngeklik sendiri, jadi nggak sehat buat emosi kita. Itu kelemahan market order. Kedua, market order kan harganya di tengah-tengah biasanya. Tugas kita sebagai trader adalah merencanakan kita mau beli di mana, kita mau jual di mana, kita mau exit di mana. Setelah itu kita pasang order di sana. Setelah itu kita manage trade transaksinya. Jadi saya secara pribadi nggak pernah pakai market order, saya selalu pakai pending order. Yang kedua, apakah tools ini perlu maintenance? Jawabannya enggak. Kita nggak perlu maintenance. Dan tadi ada pertanyaan dari Mas Emran, how to avoid fake out. I think we need to expert that in the next session. I think we already have more than 1 hour session. So yeah, Jose, do you want to add anything else, like a final statement or maybe some quote for us? Or
yes, well, I just want to say thank you, Dwiyan, for giving me the opportunity to be in front of your crowd. It's a super pleasure for me to do this first session with Dwiyan and with you guys, and I'm sure we'll connect again and any other times. I love the fact that you guys, I can feel your passion. I can see all the questions and everything. And again, it's the first time that we are having a session, so I'm sure there are many other questions and many things to talk about, which we'll do in the future. But thank you so much for coming today, and Dwiyan as well. And the key word, you were asking for a final quote. So here's a final quote for today, guys. Listen carefully. It's important. Okay.
Yep.
So, experience tells you what to do. Confidence allows you to do it. This is the final quote for today. You may want to translate that.
Yeah. And then experience tell me what to do, and confidence allow me to do it, right?
Correct.
And then how is regarding the UFO? I mean, how does relate to the UFO?
Well, you can practice any methodology, for example, support and resistance. And because this is drawn by the trader manually, okay, you could argue that a trader would have support the resistance at this point, where a different trader would have the resistance at this point, where another trader would have the resistance at that point, or at that point, or at that other point. And everybody would have their reasons for it. In other words, it's subjective.
Okay.
So if it's subjective, it doesn't matter how much you practice. You will build experience, but you will never build confidence.
Yes.
And to be a good trader, you have to be confident. So experience tells you what to do. That comes from the practice. But what really makes you a good trader is the confidence. So we are back to the prior concepts that we covered earlier today when it comes to acting mechanically and all those things. Okay, so hopefully today, with the things that we covered, we open a little bit of, we give a little bit of a light on, how to get to this point where you are building your skill in a way where not only is practice, is actually building confidence, because this is how you will become a good trader. Okay?
Oke, teman-teman, terima kasih waktunya, terima kasih sudah hadir. Mungkin nanti kita akan punya sesi berikutnya, dan ini adalah salah satu quote terakhir dari Jose. Ini sangat penting, teman-teman boleh catat. Jadi ini sangat penting, teman-teman jangan leave sebelum quote ini saya translate. Jadi quote-nya adalah, pengalaman atau experience itu tell you what to do. Jadi experience atau pengalaman itu memberikan kita pengetahuan sehingga kita tahu apa yang harus kita lakukan. Sekali lagi, pengalaman akan memberitahu kita apa yang harus kita lakukan, tetapi confidence, percaya diri, akan membuat kita melakukannya. Jadi teman-teman nggak akan melakukan yang teman-teman tahu kecuali teman-teman percaya diri. Ingat, untuk menjadi seorang trader yang bagus, teman-teman bukan hanya butuh pengalaman, tapi teman-teman juga butuh percaya diri. Jadi sekali lagi, pengalaman membuat kita tahu apa yang harus kita lakukan, percaya diri membuat kita melakukan apa yang kita tahu tadi. Jadi sangat penting sebagai seorang trader kita punya percaya diri atau punya confidence. Nah, apa hubungannya dengan trading? Apa hubungannya dengan apa yang sudah kita sampaikan di depan? Kalau teman-teman menggunakan pengalaman, teman-teman garis support resisten, misalnya teman-teman belajar konvensional, teknik analisis, teman-teman akan menggunakan subjektivitas dan teman-teman akan bingung karena saya yang garis support di situ, mungkin orang lain garis support di sana, orang lain lagi garis support di sana, orang lain lagi garis support di sana. Kan ini sangat subjektif. Semua orang bisa garis di area yang berbeda-beda. Dan kalau teman-teman latihan terus-menerus karena teman-teman latihan garis, maka teman-teman akan punya pengalaman. Teman-teman tahu apa yang harus dilakukan, tapi teman-teman mungkin nggak akan punya confidence karena teman-teman akan ngecek kira-kira garisnya Mas Dwiyan, Mas Angga sama nggak dengan garis saya. Kalau nggak sama, teman-teman kan mungkin nggak confidence untuk eksekusi. Karena bisa jadi teman-teman garis support di sana, saya garis di tempat yang berbeda. Teman-teman bilang trennya naik, saya bilang trennya turun. Semua orang akan menggunakan subjektivitas dan berbeda. Nah, kalau teman-teman nggak membangun latihan dengan cara yang sama terus-menerus, acting secara mekanikal, dan teman-teman nggak punya contoh kasus, nggak punya data, teman-teman nggak akan pernah membangun rasa percaya diri. Satu-satunya cara membangun percaya diri adalah dengan teman-teman punya data yang cukup. Nah, sekali lagi, kalau teman-teman melakukan apa yang tadi kita presentasikan di depan, teman-teman backtest dengan menggunakan satu tools tadi, satu cara terus-menerus, cara yang mechanical, konsisten action-nya, dan teman-teman punya cukup banyak data, teman-teman akan membangun rasa percaya diri. Dengan percaya diri dan pengalaman, teman-teman akan menjadi seorang trader yang sukses. Oke, mungkin itu adalah quote yang paling penting hari ini. Saya juga banyak belajar dari Jose. Thank you, Jose, for coming. I learned a lot from you today. So, yeah, I think that's all for this session. Teman-teman, sesi ini akan direkam, dan teman-teman yang terlambat, teman-teman bisa nonton rekamannya. Nanti kita akan kirimkan recordnya di webinar jam dan juga di YouTube session. Thank you, Jose. Thank you for your time. And then we can say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody. Goodbye, everybody, and see you next time.
Thank you, teman-teman. Selamat malam. Sampai ketemu di sesi berikutnya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.